Welcome to Wager Talk TV. I am Kelly Stewart at Kelly in Vegas, joined by Las Vegas Cris at Las Vegas Cris on Twitter. No H, so don't get that one wrong. Cris, you tweeted something this week and it made me think, oh my gosh, we have to do a video. Your tweet was, stop teasing totals. And I realized that someone who had never really teased games prior to this year, I found so many scenarios. A lot of people don't know a lot about teasers. Point blank, period, the end. So I told Johnny Detroit, all right, Cris and I are going to do a teaser video. So I'm going to start off by prefacing, this is a beginner teaser video. For those of you that don't understand teasers, we're going to go through all of the processes. So Cris, start off in the beginning. Let's talk about what kind of teaser we're looking for, maybe even explain what a teaser is and which type of teasers we should be using.
Yeah, teasers can be pretty complicated to people that are unfamiliar with them. Basically, what you're doing is you're taking the actual real NFL line or college football line or an NBA line, and you have the ability to move it a certain amount of points. So we'll stick with NFL teasers. You can move it any direction you want by 6 points. They also have 6.5 point teasers, 7 point teasers. What is really important to remember is when teasers were invented, somewhere around 20 years ago, they used to be no juice teasers. So the difference is almost every place we have to pay juice. So typically you're going to find minus 110 on 6 point teasers, and you don't want to pay more than 110. That's already too much as it is. And typically you pay minus 120 for a 6.5, minus 130 for a 7 point teaser. Something to know, though, is 7 point teasers are overall a loser, believe it or not. So you really want to try to stick to the 6 point teasers as a starting point. And to make your life more complicated, you actually have to shop your stores on where you're going to place these teasers. So you're not only shopping your price, but you're shopping their policy. This is going to sound insane, but the standard teaser rule is if you push aside, the teaser's done. It's not like a parlay. It doesn't go down to 1. If you lose and tie, it's still a no play. So you want to make sure wherever you're betting that those are the teaser rules to start. And if you don't have a teaser shop like that, then your only alternative is to make sure you're only playing half point lines. Otherwise, you're losing the benefit of that point. So those are the first things that you really have to pay attention to with the teasers. One step more is you can also the teasers. And believe it or not, they aren't entirely bad. The actual payouts, if you can find them, are actually a little bit better in a way to the actual odds of it. So if you can find a parlay of 3, you're looking for plus 180 or more. If you're looking for 4, you're looking for plus 300 or more. And if you're looking for 5, you want to find plus 450 or more. Anything less than that is not good. You want to kind of stay away from those. Even at those numbers, the regular teasers, you have to hit these at a success rate over 72%. The 3, 4, 5 team versions, a little bit lower, give or take off the 71%. So that's the introduction to what actually teasers are.
No, I really agree with that, Cris. And let's just use for this video, my favorite type of teaser, a 2-team 6 point teaser. Now, here in Vegas, you do need to shop around. A lot of shops have taken their juice to minus 130, even minus 140. So just, if you go to the counter and ask, they have to tell you. So be cautious, because a lot of books have just said, you know what, we've had enough. We're going to charge a ton of juice, so you don't want to bet your teasers here, or the average Joe just doesn't know any better. So 2-team 6 point teasers. Cris, let's go into those key numbers and what we're looking for when using a type of teaser like that.
Well, the industry term is called a Wong teaser, a W-O-N-G. And it's very simple. There's only 3 things you should be doing with a teaser, and that is teasing the home team, either up or down. And what you have to have is going through the numbers 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And quickly, those 5 numbers combined are 40% of the numbers that land in NFL. So anywhere from 5% to 14% on each of those numbers. So you can only tease the home teams through those numbers, or you want to use the road dog up through those numbers. Obviously, the fourth option would be road favorites down through those numbers, but history tells us that that actually is a losing proposition. So if you just blindly took the road favorites down through those numbers, that's going to lose more often than not. You're going to have to pick your spots more carefully using those numbers.
Yeah, so just kind of elaborate what Chris just said. We're talking home teams. Let's say if minus 7.5. We're going to take them down from 7 points down below that field goal to 2.5, and those 1.5 to 2.5 point home underdogs up through that field goal and that touchdown. And as Chris did allude to, be very cautious when taking that road favorite over a touchdown down below. We've seen it too many times where it looks too easy. And if the books aren't protecting themselves by taking that 1 to 9 to keep the teaser protection going, be very cautious. Chris, I'd like you to touch on what made me think to start this video. And you wrote, basically, do not tease NFL totals. Now, I've heard this for years, and I've just never done it because I've been told not to. But what is the math? What is the logic behind not teasing NFL totals?
Well, when teasers were invented, this was a low-scoring game. So the rules have changed significantly. Scoring is way up. That means that the variance is wider. So what you definitely don't want to be doing is teasing college football at all. There is no value in teasing college football. Over-under sides, NBA, skip teasing NBA. And you want to stick to NFL sides only until they change the rules and we go back to games that have totals of under 41. Also, you want to avoid teasing games where the total's over 50. So you're really looking to tease games with a total of under 50. Otherwise, you're getting to a point where there's just too much scoring and there's too much variance, and the value that used to be in these 6-point teasers when you had totals, 33 to 41, and on the high side, 47, all that's diluted now. So you're losing all that value.
I like that. And that's something I actually just wrote down myself, because you're right. When you get those Chiefs games and those Saints games where the number is just so high, the variance itself can just hurt you. And look, we've seen it time and time again where you get a backdoor cover and hit a teaser. This year in particular, the Chargers have been such a great teaser bet because they've been in every single one of their games. But you make a really good point about looking at that total. All right, to wrap up our video, I want you to kind of go into anything else regarding teasers, kind of a teaser 102 segment.
Yeah, I'd like to touch on a handful of things. Getting back to how you were mentioning them raising teasers up to 9.5. Oftentimes games are lined 7.5, and you'll see some place that has a goofy 9 or 9.5. That's a teaser protection for the house. So one would think, well, gee, then can't I use that, against the house since they're giving me an extra 1.5 to 2 points and take that through the 10 and the 14? No, that's a loser also. So basically the player loses and the house wins with that protection. Something to also consider, there are 3-team teasers, 10-point teasers with 3 teams, and you don't want to pay 130 juice. You want to try to find those at 110. They're bad enough at 110. And if you're using them, if you can find 3 teams that are somewhere around 10 or 11, punch in the parlay and see if you get extra points or the teaser costs you less. That's important. And the same thing works with 2-team teasers, somewhere around the 7.5 range. Depending on what the money lines may be on that game, you might actually be better off, instead of taking a 7.5 down to a 1.5, you might be able to get pick on the 2 games at a better price. Another thing to consider, is what you're going to use as your last leg. I like to use the last leg to move into another bet later on. So, I'll put one in the Sunday night or the Monday night. And then if I can win that first leg or two, now all of a sudden, I've got something that's kind of nice.
You make a really good point. I know that this is an evergreen video, but that is kind of what I looked into doing the other night. I had a Steelers plus 8.5 in my pocket. I did like the Steelers, but I considered, hey, you know what? I have a Bills money line opportunity here with a fairly cheap money line. And now I give myself an 8.5 point middle opportunity. Is that something that you ever do?
Yeah, well, absolutely. And here's another bailout strategy that I sometimes use. If I get stuck on a game, sometimes I might take a position on a game and I don't like it for whatever reason, could be an injury or something, and I want to get out of that side, I might tease the side I want to get out of. If I'm holding +7 and the line's now only went up, I come back the other way. I still have to hit both sides of that teaser, but I have a chance of middling that difference on that first bad position I had. That's a desperation, sort of situation. And then also, if you really do like these teasers and they're not always good, you can't find the right juice or anything, look at alternate lines. I'm having a field day with some of these places. They fall asleep because they put low limits on these alternate lines, and some of these places don't change the line all day long. So lots of good value to be found looking for dead alternate lines, which are essentially the same thing.
Yeah, look, I know Chris is not the most active guy on Twitter. He's getting better about it, but make sure you guys follow at Las Vegas Cris. He has tons of great info. If you have a question for him, he's always there to answer. Kicking ass in NFL this year, hitting around 64%. So make sure you guys head over to wagertalk.com and snag up the rest of Chris's NFL. Chris, thank you for hanging out today.